Alrighty, here in this video we're going to be going over defenders and why you should use them. Here we've got a medium encampment. Let's bring this guy over here and put her over here. See how they handle this encampment. They made very short work of that encampment. They are just decimating. As you can see, as a lot of people say though, defenders do not have 100% accuracy. And they definitely don't have 100% headshot accuracy at max level. I saw one explosion during that entire match, or that entire encampment. So let's take a look at their perks and the reason I made the guns the way I did for them. Alright, and we're back. So with this defender, it's one of my favorite sniper defenders. She has 2 crit ratings, a crit damage, and then 2 fairly useless shield regeneration rates for this way that I use her. So since she has double crit rating and a crit damage, go to my schematics. And I have the Neon Sniper set up as crit also. She's got crit rating, crit damage, and then because the Neon, it does have a fairly small magazine, and the fire rate on it's not awful, but it's not great. I have fire rate and mag size on it. Now, I could put more damage there, but I don't need to, because as you saw, they were one-shotting everything anyways. Now, for this guy, he has a pretty similar build, except he has a base damage buff, crit rating, and crit damage. So then my Obliterator is actually set up the same way as the Neon because that's how I like my snipers. They work very cohesively together, and with the Obliterator, its base has a 4 mag size with a very slow fire rate. You see, even with the fire rate perk added, it is still less than 1 shot per second, although just barely, and a mag size of 7. If you saw my defender, he was putting in work with the Obliterator and mowing down the husk very fast and very efficiently. A lot of people I've seen have double crit rating and double crit damage on the Obliterator, and if you're using it for yourself, that's fine, but for a defender, he is not killing enough husk to make it worthwhile. Now, for one of my personal favorite defenders is my Gunslinger. He has double crit rating and reload speed with shield regeneration. Now, since he is not a sniper and he's not put up in a box 24/7, he does actually benefit from the shield regeneration, unlike what my snipers benefit from. Now, since he's got double crit rating on him, I give him a crit built pistol, which just so happens to be this bad boy. The Tiny Instrument of Death. Now it only has a 38% crit chance and fairly small crit damage, but when it works very cohesively with that defender who has additional damage on it and additional crit rating. I'm sorry, not additional crit damage, but he has the reload speed. He puts the... If you've ever used a Tiny Instrument of Death, it is basically a rocket launcher with incredible durability, but it uses a lot of energy ammo. And with him having the reload speed, he goes through it even faster. However, look at the damage on it. It has 65,000 base damage. Now, this is Sunbeam. It'll be a bit lower for most people if they don't have it Sunbeam. But with 65,000 damage, and he has 2 additional crit rating perk, his crit chance is over 50%, and he crits more than half the time. Now, the mag size is 8, but it's actually only 1 because it consumes all 8 to shoot one time. But again, it's a rocket launcher, essentially. And a fire rate is fairly fast. He's shooting another one before the first one blows up. And this feller can hold down an entire side by himself. People laugh at defenders. A lot of people don't use them. But this man will hold a defense down on his own. Just give him a side. He's got it. Don't even worry about it. Now, the Rifleman I don't use very often. He just doesn't put out the damage that I like to. As my sniper rifles, they do it just fine. They hold him down just fine. But if I were to use him, notice I do have him perked all the way up, but he's cheap. He has fire rate, double shield regeneration on him again, and then crit rating and crit damage. So a gun that I would use for him, since he does have increased crit and increased fire rate, would be, if you guessed a crit built weapon, you were right. This one has crit rating and double crit damage. This is also the way I recommend perking it for you if you use the Tiger. This is what I believe to be one of the best ARs in the game. A lot of people don't like it because it has a scope. However, it is also deadly accurate from the hip. Now, it has 43% crit chance and 345 crit damage. And with the crit rating from the Rifleman, he would be over the 50% crit chance. So he's critting more often than not. Also, it has a very good fire rate on it of 4 shots per second. He mows stuff down pretty well too. Now, a secondary assault rifle, I know a lot of people don't have the Tiger. It hasn't been out for a hot minute. Now, this gun, a lot of people do have. I'm not done with this one, but this will be one I'll use on my defenders for nature storms because it puts out decent damage. The impact, he actually stuns the husk a lot to where it gives you more time to kill them. It gives your traps more time to kill them. And also for a sniper defender that you might have out, it also gives them more time to get to him. Plus, he'll probably kill them on his own. Now, the Hydra is another weapon that most people can have. If you don't have it, you can get it from the collection book. It's a very good weapon. It has quite a versatile perks you can put on it as well. Now, this one, I've got double crit damage because I was using it with a one-shot Rio build. However, for the defender, it also works very well because it has a decent fire rate. You can put pretty much whatever perks you want on it, however you want it. You can build it to your defender. So if your defender had all mag size, reload speeds, and flat damage perks, you could put all the damage perks and the reload speed. As you see, I have a lot of reload speed on it. You could put a mag size on it. It has a decent fire rate. It's not fast, but it's not too terribly slow. Works great for a defender that's holding down the fort, because as they get closer, he can just pop them off anytime he needs to. And then for a Bruiser, you'll see mine has 2 melee weapon damage and a sword damage, along with shield regeneration and a maximum health. I am very happy with this Bruiser, and a trick not many people know about is you can use a Bruiser. If there's a hole from a building nearby, you can put the Bruiser in the bottom of the hole, and Husk will actually go into the hole to fight the Bruiser, and then they're dead because they can't get to the objective anymore. But for a defender like this, I would go straight damage, unless you are also using the weapon. Then, of course, you build that to your class, and then he'll also make use fit any way he needs to. Take, for example, my Husk Cleaver. I have attack speed and damage on it, along with movement speed. I used to use this to move faster along the map before the shovel came out. But with that defender, he already has the damage. He doesn't need a second damage on that, although he does still get it from damage to slowed and snared. But he benefits greatly from the attack speed because the Husk Cleaver is a slow weapon. Now, take like the Spectral Blade. It has a 50% crit chance. I have a support bonus in right now. I'm using my ninja class, so that's false. That's lying to you. But it's a crit rating, crit damage build, and damage. I know it's not the most optimal DPS build for the Spectral Blade, but it's what I like in it, what it works for, how I use it. Now, he won't get the same benefit because the base space crit chance is 38 or 43%. It's definitely not over the 50%, though. I'll go ahead and check that real quick. Okay, so yeah, it's 43%. He's not over that 50% threshold, which I'll preach a lot. If your crit's not over 50%, you're not benefiting from it as much as you think you are because of the way crits work in this game. If you shoot 100 bullets with a 43% crit chance, you're not going to crit 43 of them. That's just not how crits work in this game. It's resetting each other. But that's a different video. With this build, he won't benefit as much as, say, the Husk Cleaver because he is relying on crits for this build for the most part. This video seems to be a little all over the place, but I do believe I've went over every possible defender you can have now. And as you can see, you want to build your defender weapons to your defender. Like, see, this guy, he has crit rating with a heart with a melee weapon and then crit damage. He would benefit from a crit build melee weapon, whereas the one that we just showed will not. And this guy has axe, melee crit damage, movement speed, maximum health. This guy would benefit from an axe, but unless you're making an axe just for the defender, why would you be using axes? We don't have very many axe perks in this game. So as you can see, the perks on defenders can be very varied. And take the sniper defender. I use the Neon and the Obliterator. So although she has crit rating and crit damage, she doesn't use the shield or the health. That's 3 wasted perks. I am constantly hunting for a better one. I used to have a double crit rating. I'm sorry, a triple crit rating sniper defender, so my Neon was double crit damage, and for the life of me, I don't remember recycling it, but it disappeared. And here's another one, pistol damage and crit damage. Unless you have an obscenely high base crit chance pistol, you would not use this defender when you have better options. So the perks on your defender, what I'm getting at here, are just as important as the perks on your hero when you're making a weapon for them. Oh, and coming here, I noticed I did skip over the shotgun defender. I'll be very brief on her. Why would you ever use a shotgun defender? Their range on shotguns is awful. I know a lot of people like the Super Shredder as a shotgun, but at the end of the day, it's still a sniper rifle. Shotgun defenders are fairly awful. They have no range. Yeah, they'll put out a lot of damage, but if something's literally on your base breaking into it, that's when your shotgun defender could attack them, and at that point, they've already gotten too far. What were you doing? What were your trap tunnels doing? I don't believe you should make a shotgun defender. If you disagree with me, feel free to let me know and explain to me your reasoning why. And as always, if there are any questions, let me know. I do believe I covered everything in this video. If I missed something, let me know. My supported creator code is TimmyLaw77, same as you see there on the screen. I've been getting a ton of support from you guys, and I really appreciate that. Big shout out to the PvE community on Facebook that have been helping me, giving me ideas on videos to make, and keep asking questions, guys. I love the questions. I love sharing my knowledge. I've been playing this game since 2017. I will gladly help anybody and everybody. Just let me know what you guys need. As always, you guys have a wonderful night.